let's get into your business.
Yeah.
Working at a bank, like most people, you bought your first investment property. Why? Who told you what to do? How did you know that this was the path?
My grandmother.
How did she know?
Before the war, my grandma was a powerhouse. She owned a restaurant. She owned real estate. She owned a bread factory, and we owned a massive farm.
Okay.
Like, it was huge. It was a big farm. And I was around my grandmother all of the time. Every time, everywhere she went. You ever seen that little girl, her grandmother? That was me. And she would say, go to that house and go get an envelope. Go to that house and go get it. I was collecting rent at about 5-6 years old.
All right.
So the concept of real estate in my young mind didn't really, but like Malcolm Gladwell said, the 10,000 hours. You're putting in your 10,000 hours in something. And like Oprah said, it's your responsibility while we're here is to find your purpose here and live in alignment with that. So for me, when I think about things that come really natural to me, are things that I've been doing and putting in 10,000 hours in, and just making sure every day I wake up, I live in alignment with that.
I love it. The inspiration. All right. So you're working at this bank. Where did you find the opportunity for this property? Tell us a little bit about the property. Lay out the blueprint for the folk that might be interested in doing similar things.
Yeah. So when I graduated high school, I went to Weequahic High School. My teachers poured into me like that's the side of being in urban America that people don't see. We are not poor. We are a community of people that look out for each other. When I was in the 7th grade, my education level was about 1st or 2nd grade. My teacher, Miss Brooks, recognized in me that I was delayed. One day she said to me, Adenah, stay back when everyone leaves. I want you, when I write something on the board, just repeat, just say what, and I didn't know it. And I remember I'm scared just of Africa and I'm here. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going back. She just found me out. She said, I'll tell you what. If you come here every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll meet you here. I'll bring breakfast and I'll teach you. And every morning from 7th grade, 8th grade, she taught me like I was in kindergarten. And when I graduated in the 8th grade, she found a high school. Wasn't close to my house, but she knew another teacher that she wanted to do the same setup for me. Wow. So she said to me, I know Weequahic is about an hour and you got to catch 2 buses from your house to Weequahic, but I'm going to talk to your parents. I need you to go to Weequahic High School. And when I went to Weequahic High School, she said, when you get there, go ask for Miss Jackson. I asked for Miss Jackson, she's an English teacher. She said, Miss Jackson said, now, Miss Brooks, I can't be here at 7. She said, but I could be here at 7:30. She said, come every morning at 7:30 and you and I will do some work. From 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I was tutor. I graduated in the top 7 of my class. Not because these teachers pour into me. They pour into me so much that when I was going to college, we sat down and we typed my college application. And I got accepted to Philly Dickinson University. Now, I'm a workaholic. I get to Philly Dickinson. I'm like, I got all this time. And I was working at the bank, Davis Bridal, and I was working as a resident assistant. So when you work as a resident assistant, you get free room and board. And I said to myself, I would save one of my paycheck while I am in college. Every paycheck from one of my jobs is going to not be touched. Wow. So from freshman year to my senior year, I saved $26,000.
Girl. It's Fairleigh Dickinson, Madison, New Jersey.
Teaneck.
Teaneck.
I went to the Teaneck campus. They have a Madison campus.
Yeah. I was right down the street at Drew. I had a chicken business. I would deliver at Fairleigh Dickinson. We called it Fairly Ridiculous down the street.
Fairly Ridiculous?
No disrespect. But yeah, no, it's so interesting. I wish I had the wherewithal to save all my money, but I like to spend it. Let's take a break because I have so many questions, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about the blueprint of this first property because we're not. So you had the 26,000. How did you find the property? What did you know what to do? Whether it was multifamily, why that?
Yeah.
And then fast forward, $220 million later. What is this? When we come back, Adenah Bayoh will be here. This story, I was just talking with Adenah Bayoh during the break about how much appreciation we should have for the things, the opportunities. We are not in bondage. We are not, getting a lash. There's, our children, everybody in America can eat. There's social programs. It's like no excuse. School is free if you make a certain amount of money. Like there's no excuse. And you confirmed something that I knew, that all of our children are capable.
Yes.
It just requires of them. First of all, there was an eagerness in you.
Yeah.
That if I'm an adult, I want to invest in that.
Yeah.
If I'm a teacher, I want to invest in a child that comes ready, But also there were teachers that understood that we're not going to throw anybody away. Yeah. All of these kids are capable.
Yeah.
And you coming in scared, to even be found out that you didn't know how to read and write and all of these things. But yeah, shout out to all of the teachers that get it.
I think when you're poor in this country, there's a certain level of shame that is associated with being poor. There is a certain level of, I want to be invisible. I don't want to be seen. And I saw that happen to my mother. I saw that happen to a bunch of people. And I never felt that way. I never felt like there should be a certain shame. I felt like we didn't have, but I didn't feel like I should be ashamed of it. I was very happy to be where I was at, extremely happy. And I think maybe there's a certain level of gratitude that I have about myself, that I'm happy to have a glass. And people argue if it's half full or not. I'm just happy to have a glass.
Come on. Come on, glass.
Yes.
Put something in it.
Yes.
All right. So you saved $26,000 as a college student. First of all, yes, all of the things. The property. So you had this money. Mm-hmm. Were you driving around looking at buildings? Were you walking around looking at buildings?
No. So I came home from college, and my dad had this thing about him. You get a year and a half or 2 years in his house, and he's looking for you to either get married to go out. And I didn't want to get married. Or you buy a house. So I said to him, Dad, I want to buy a house. He's like, I don't got no money. I'm like, Dad, I have my own money. I just want to buy this house. He's like, how much money do you have? I'm like, Dad, I have saved up like $26,000 from all of my jobs. And he was shocked. And he said, okay. And I remember working with a realtor, a sister. And she said to me, Adenah, I think we should put you in a 3-family house. A 3-family house, you could rent out the 2 units. It will help you with the mortgage. And with the income, it will help you qualify with a little bit more mortgage. And I said, okay. So the idea of a 3-family home at the time came from that realtor. She was like a guy sent to me. And I said, I want to go back to Irvington because when I lived in Newark at the time, you know how it was. Irvington, when you... Okay.
Yes, I do know.
So Irvington was this paradise. If you lived in Newark and you moved to Irvington, you was moving
like moving on up. Yeah, you were the Jeffersons. Yes.
And by the time I came back from college, there was this flight of white that had left Irvington. We call it a white flight. Yeah. They left. And I was still in love with it because my very first legal job in America was at McDonald's in Irvington on Springfield Avenue, owned by the first Black franchisees in New York, New Jersey for McDonald's, the Richardsons. They lived in Irvington. They owned that McDonald's, and I just loved them. I love the Richardson. So I love Irvington because they used to take us to their houses. They used to. So I said, I'm going to buy my first house in Irvington. So I bought the very first house in Irvington, rented out 2 floors, was able to pay my mortgage that way, still had my salary from the bank, and saved that because I'm a big saver. Like, I don't need a blink out. I don't need a blink blink, so frugal in that way, but I saved. And that house was able to lead me to buy another 3-family, another 4-family. So
How old are you at this point?
I bought my first house at 21.
Wow.
And by the time I was 24, 25, I had roughly a collection of almost 12 of them. Yeah.
I love it. Now,
Yeah.
were your parents in any of them? Did you?
No.
They had their own home?
So my dad got into this program in Newark that helped folks from Newark buy property in Newark. So he bought his 2-family in Newark that I moved out of, and was there and had this after work habit of buying houses.
Oh, an after work habit.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What are we going to do today? Oh, we're going to go buy houses. We're not going to go get
houses.
shrimp. We're going to go buy houses.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your grandmother thinking?
So my grandmother is here, and we're talking, and I'm always telling her ideas, and she's like, "Yeah, you should do this." She's happy. At this point now, she's just living kind of through me, and she's telling me her stories, and she's pouring into me, and she's giving me advice. She was more of advising me.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when did the IHOPs come into play?
Oh yeah, the IHOP.
Oh yeah, the IHOP. She has IHOPs in Pittsburgh. Where is this?
Yeah, so we have 4 IHOPs.
4 IHOPs.
We're in Irvington. We have 2 in Newark. We have
Wait, the one in Newark that's near the hospital, is
that's
that yours?
me. Yes.
The one that sells grits?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
And catfish.
Yeah,
and collard
catfish.
greens.
Yes. Okay.
And then one on Broad Street. And then we have one in Patterson, and we're doing one in Roselle, hopefully by the end of this year. And
Okay. Wow.
And literally, the first IHOP came about when I came back from TNEC. We had all of these amenities when I was away at college. And I would come back home, and we didn't have them. And I would always question, but why not? Why don't we have this? Why don't we have CVS on every corner? Why don't we have IHOP here? Why don't we have this? So when I moved to Irvington, we had 2 options, Don's Diner or Kless Diner. So one day, as I'm buying properties in Irvington, because my stomping ground is Irvington and Newark. That's my love, and it will always be my love. That is where, kind of like Newark will always, no matter where you live, Karen, someone said Newark, you're going to perk up.
That for my daddy, but East Orange is
East Orange is your love.
That's my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, East Orange too. East Orange too. I mean, let's take out the borders.
It's the whole thing,
Essex
right? It's that whole
County,
area. Yeah,
Essex
the whole
County.
area. Yes.
So when I wrote Wayne Smith a letter at the time, I'm like, "You're the mayor." I don't know if it's a letter or conversation. I'm like, "There's no national brand here. You should really get a national brand here."
So you just petitioned the mayor,
Yes,
because you're a citizen of the town. You own property. Now you have like 20 properties in his town. You're paying taxes. Yeah, and so you reached out to the mayor because that's your right.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't you have an IHOP in Irvington? And he's like, whoa, okay. And then he said to me, well, Kless Diner is for sale. I'll take you to the owner, talk to him about buying that diner, and maybe you could bring an IHOP here. So I said, well, that's not what I had in mind, but let's go talk to him. He and I drove literally from City Hall to Kless Diner. And funny story. So we get there, it's this Greek guy. You could tell life had taken the best of him already. Greek, old. And the mayor walked in, so he's excited about that. So the mayor said hi, and the mayor said to him, I have this young lady right here, and she's going to buy your diner from you. Yes, that was exactly, he was like, who? Where is she? And he's like, her? And I was so offended, the ego, I was so offended. I was like, the way he looked at me, the disgust, the audacity to even think that she can do this. And I said to him, yes, as a matter of fact, here's $25,000.
Flex.
Yes, here's my deposit. So he goes, well, it's $1.2 million. Can you afford that? So I go home and I call my girlfriend. I'm like, you're not going to believe what I just did. I wrote a damn check because somebody gave me some condescending look. She was like, well, your check is out there now, girl. I hope he don't cash it. Next day, homeboy done cashed that check.
Yes, of course he cashed it.
And I couldn't get my deposit from him. He was like, it's a contract. You're going to have to buy this down. And and he would tell these stories that when his family first got there, Black people weren't allowed to own there. So all of these things would just make me so mad. So I contacted at the time the owner of the IHOP on Bergen Street, which I now own, Talib. Wayne Smith said, well, why don't you call Talib? He already own an IHOP. Maybe he could put an IHOP there. I called him. I said, hey, I have this diner that I have a contract on. Maybe you could put an IHOP in Irvington. He goes, why would I want to do that? I'm in Newark. I got enough business here. And it's not going to work in Irvington. Why would it work in Irvington? So I was like, whoa, what's the attitude about? So I said, fine, I'm going to call IHOP myself and I'm going to put in the application, do this. I put in the IHOP application and IHOP denied me for all of the reasons they should.
What are all of the reasons?
I had no restaurant experience, according to them. But I will argue, I worked 4 years in college at McDonald's. If that's not a restaurant experience, I don't know what is.
Facts.
I think when I started the application, I was like 23, 24 years old.
Okay, you were 24.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they said, well, they gave me 2 reasons. No experience and that it would affect the sales of the IHOP on Bergen Street. So I said, well, that's not good. So one day, after I got my letter, I called IHOP corporate. I said, let me talk to somebody here. And at the time, the only Black woman working in IHOP, at the time, she worked in a franchise development. Her name is Nicole. She picks up the phone. And I said to her, I need your help. There is a community here in New Jersey that you may not know, but that would greatly benefit from having an IHOP in their community. And let me tell you why. And Nicole is in California. She is from, a hood just like Irvington. So it resonated with her. She understood where I was coming from. She said, well, you already got a denial. I can have you make your own presentation to the committee because what you just said to me is really compelling. I want them to hear from you. She made an arrangement and I made my compelling presentation and I got granted the IHOP franchise in 2005. So I was happy, elated, grateful. Now, the fun part was getting that IHOP finance.
Right, because you still owe homeboy $1 million, 1.1. And he just came up with a number because damn well that wasn't worth
that wasn't, it wasn't even worth no damn $500,000, but that's another show. So the whole project was $2.5 million. I went home, I did the business plan, put the financials together.
Where did you learn how to do the business plan?
I'm not going to say it. Me, my friends from college, and my fiance now, we put the business plan together.
Okay,
at the time,
so you had a team.
We weren't, but not the team that you would think.
No, but it is the team that you needed.
The team, yes. So he and I were, he was checking me out. So I was like, could you help me do this? We'll put the business plan together. And we sent it to the first bank. They looked at it. came back to us and said, no. Here's our reason. We'll fix that reason, send it to the next bank. Next bank look at it. No. Here's our reason. Fix it, send it to the next bank. Next bank said, no. Here's our reason. This went on, Karen, for 7 banks. Name them all in New Jersey. In New York, I applied to them. 7 of them said no to us. A year and a half later, Nicole calls me. She said, Adenah, it's been over a year. Where are you with this project? And I said to her, Nicole, I'm nowhere. And I remember I was coming from the YMCA. It was in the afternoon. I was coming from work in Newark Y on Broad Street. And my phone rang and Nicole called me. And I just broke down crying to this lady. She was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, nobody will finance this thing here. She was disgusted. She said, stay by your phone. Let me make some calls for you. She calls GE Franchise Financing in Arizona. And let me tell you how God worked. At the time, they wanted IHOP to make them their premier lender. So Nicole said to them, well, if you guys can get this deal done for her, then we know y'all got the brain trust to do a bunch of these transactions for us. So what took me 2.5 years, almost 2 years, GE approved it in 30 days. Mm-hmm. And I tell you the funny thing about that, by the time that I have opened, Karen, I was bankrupt. They came and said, we'll do it, but we'll do you at 75 LTV, maybe 80. So you do the math.
2 million carry to one. Yeah, you're out of pocket at least, what, a couple of hundred, 300?
$450 I had to bring to the transaction. I don't have a rich uncle. No one in my family didn't even know why I'm
what
doing this.
Doing?
Like,
yeah, right.
why
what
are you
is
even
this?
doing this?
Right.
So I go and I empty out all of the real estate I own.
Wow.
Tap them all out. So by the time this IHOP open, I am over leveraged. I am literally bankrupt. It's just in a bad place, but it opened, the community was happy. And that was my saving grace. But the statistics show that 61% of Black women are going to start their businesses in fashions like this.
61% of Black women start their businesses in bankruptcy.
They start their business self-funded.
Self-funded.
And when you start a business self-funded, it's a hard path. You're easily trapped with high interest loan.
That's right.
You're easily trapped with you don't have the resources to bring in actual help in your businesses because you are robbing Paul to pay Peter. And in the America that we sit in today, Black women should just be afforded more resources, but we are locked out of the financial institute. We are.
Yes, I know.
And that restaurant went on to make history. Like, we was the fastest growing IHOP for them. We went ahead, we hired almost 80 people from that community. And that IHOP is still standing today. And the reason why I made it was my community. They came out and they supported me.
Yes. When did you turn the corner with it? And when did you go from bankruptcy to 220 million?
So, as all of this has happened, I have opened in 2007. And the financial crisis hit in 2008. So, all of the properties that I had were all in subprime mortgages.
Jesus.
Subprime mortgages. And statistics show that almost 53% of Black families lost their wealth during the 2008 financial crisis. Right. I think almost 66% of Latinos lost their wealth, like wiped out. Our wealth in this country is built on 3 things: real estate, business, or inheriting your wealth. And we, from communities of colors, rarely do we inherit our wealth. We overwhelmingly start businesses, and especially Black women. We are the only group that outpace our male counterpart in starting businesses. Because when our men go away, when the community is in diaspora, who step up? You do. I do. We are the fixers of our community, right? So the backdrop of that is 2008, 2009, 2000. I'm going through my own internal financial crisis. I'm losing all of my property. I'm in a marriage and I'm going through a divorce at the time. My only saving grace, Karen, is the IHOP. That is the place I go and I tone everything out. And when I tell you, I poured everything I had in that restaurant, and that for me was to turn the corner. And I said to myself, I'm going to birth myself out of this. And when I do, I'm coming, and I'm going to come different.
Yes. I mean, and I imagine you worked the register, you mopped the floors. I imagine you did everything there.
I still do. That's my passion.
See?
You will catch me either at a cornbread, urban vegan, or the IHOP on any given weekend.
Look, here's the thing. You know, I too went bankrupt in my 20s doing something similar, bought my first property at 21 as well. And I feel like the lessons that you learn in your 20s give rise to the wisdom of your 30s and 40s and beyond, because you're not going to make those same mistakes again. Just like as you were putting your business plan together, oh, that's what you reject, we're going to fix that. Yeah. This learning comes through doing, and many of us are too afraid, or we don't have the fortitude to go out there and try these things, because you will fall and fail at some point, but it's not failure.
It's not. If you stay down there, that's when you fail.
Yeah, it's failure.
And I think life happened for you. People don't understand that things are everything in your life is happening in concert for you. Everything good or bad. And when you can say to yourself, remind yourself that this too is happening for my greater good. And I say that all the time when I'm in really hard situations, is to remind myself that this too is happening for my greater good. I didn't get to that space in that moment, but when I look at my life, when I look at where I come from, this story is only possible because everything is working in concert for me to be sitting here right now with you.
Absolutely.